This is a very detailed Victorian corset tutorial. I want you guys to make sure you watch the video to the end and make sure you click on the subscribe button if you are new to this channel, and don't forget, make sure you like this video, because the more you like it, the more others get to see it and the more you get to see our videos. Thanks, and may God bless you. In case you're here to purchase your own copy of the perfect dress cutting guide, please, I want you to make sure that you get your own copy, because this book is actually going to help you to draft any dress that you want, and it has detailed aspect videos. Thanks, and may God bless you.
First of all, this is our measurement. So we have the shoulder, which is 14 inches. We have the bust, which is 10 in bust length. Please, whenever you see this bust, it means generally both the vertical and the horizontal measurement, or circumferential, whichever. Now look at it. Bust length is 10 inches. That is from shoulder to the nipple point, while bust circumference is 35 inches. Are you seeing it? Now the under bust length is 13 inches, while the under bust circumference is 29 inches. The waist length is 16 inches, while the waist circumference is 28 inches. The blouse length is 22 inches, while the blouse circumference, the hip circumference of the blouse hip circumference is 36 inches. The hip is 24 inches, that is the hip length, while the hip circumference is 38. Like I said, this is not actually mandatory. Do you understand? For you to use it, provided we have the circumference of this particular one, it is not mandatory. But in a situation whereby maybe you lack this particular measurement here, you can actually use this to detect this particular one. Okay, so now what we are going to be doing, first of all, we are going to be marking out the word vertical measurement. Remember, you normally have to fold out your pattern paper. Now, for those that are working with material, you guys know that we fold our material like this. Do you understand? But I will advise us not to use material, because pattern paper is very important whenever we are making this type of dress, because any mistake that you make, you can actually change the paper or clean it up. Do you understand? So pattern paper is the best. And because we are making use of pattern paper, I will advise us not to fold anything, because you folding it is like you are wasting your pattern paper. Why? Because you use this pattern paper after drafting it to use it and trace all your material. It's your material that you are going to fold into two. Do you understand? So as to give you both the left and the right, or the front and the back. Okay, so that is it. So let's mark out the measurement point. We start from the bust length. Now the bust length is from shoulder to the bust length, which is how many? 10 inches. Now there's something I would like us to do. First of all, we are going to be marking out a border of what? Half inch. Now what is this border for? It's just a border. It's just, some people call it the starting point, but me, it is not just a starting point, rather it is half inch for the shoulder joining. Is that well understood? It is half inch for what? The shoulder joining. Now look at it. Take your tape from here, mark out half inch. Take your tape from here, mark out half inch. Use your ruler and there connect. Are you seeing it? So next thing we are going to be doing, we are going to be marking out the bust length. So now in order to start the bust length, we start from here. Is that well understood? So from here we mark out 10 inches. Now make sure, after marking out the 10 inches, make sure you take the tape elsewhere to get another point of 10 inches. Now the reason why we are getting these 2 points is to make sure that we get a straight line. If not, we might end up getting a line like this. Are you seeing it? Instead of a line that is straight. Now make sure the 2 points are connecting. Now use your ruler and they connect like this. Are you seeing it? Okay. Next thing is the under bust length. Under bust length is 13. Place your tape here and make sure you mark out your under bust. Also make sure you get the 2 points in order to get a stable and a straight line. Next is the waist length. The waist length is 16 inches. Now look at it. Mark it out. Do the same thing to also get the double point in order for us to have a perfect and straight line. Now next is the blouse length. Like I said, the blouse length is 22. There our measurement. Now look at it. 22. Here is also how many? 22. Now you can go ahead to add extra 1 inch to it as your same allowance. Do you understand? Yeah. Whenever you are working on a pattern draft, if you like, you still not add anything, because when you are cutting on your material, you can still go ahead to add it on that particular point. Okay. So now let's connect all the points which we have marked. You see, as I have connected these lines here, please, I want you to go ahead, just extend it. I know some of us might be like, why are we extending it? Don't worry, when we'll be drafting our back, we need this extension. Do you guys understand? We will need this extension. Just extend it, guys. Okay, So now look at it. We have our measurement points, the vertical measurement, which from here is the what? The shoulder. Are you seeing it? Here is the what? The bust length. Here is the what? The under bust length. Here is the waist length or half length. Here is the blouse length, and here is the allowance. Are you seeing it? So next thing we need to do now is to mark out the shoulder. Do you understand? Let's mark out the shoulder, guys. Now the shoulder is 14 inches. Now look at it. The shoulder is actually how many? 14 inches. Divided by 2 is what? 7 inches. You can go ahead to add your half inch, or you can add it when you are cutting your dress. So let's add it now. What do we have is what? 7.5. Okay. Now this 7.5, what you are supposed to do is, now look at it. I will go ahead to mark out that same 7.5. Hope you guys know why I'm doing this. To make sure I get a straight line. Now look at it. Now next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be getting our shoulder slope. Hope you guys know what shoulder slope is. Yes. There's nobody that has a straight shoulder. All the individual shoulder is slope. It depending on how you slope your own is, that's what matters. So in order to get a shoulder slope, we need to first of all get the standard neck width. When I'm saying this standard neck width, it's not that we are using it to draft any neck. It is just the standard neck width, which is estimated to be how many? 6 inches divided by 2. Since we are putting our material into 2, it's going to be how many? 3 inches. So mark out the 3 inches. Are you seeing it? So from here, look at it. From here, step down for your shoulder slope as what? 1 inch. Do you understand? This 1 inch is not fixed. It depends on how broad the person's shoulder is. But for now, for the sake of this particular tutorial, we are making female dress. Let's use how many? 1 inch. So take your rule and connect in order to form the shoulder slope. Okay. After that, next thing we are going to be forming is the armhole depth. Armhole depth. Please, I want you to know all this part that we are forming is not actually needed. Do you understand? But we need it, like what I told you guys, as the basics in order to get other words. Do you understand? What we are working on is a tube. Do you understand? This Victorian corset is in tube form. This particular one we are teaching. So that's it. Now look at it. From here, remember what we have here. From here to here is how many? 7.5. Make sure you get exactly the same thing here. Now I know some of us might be confused about some calculations we use to get the armhole depth. Yes, it's very much correct. The bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1 to 1.5. Hope you guys know that. Whatever you use, it's actually going to give you the same thing like this. Yes. Okay. Now, so let's continue. From here, take your rule and connect it horizontally. Are you seeing it? Okay. So let's go ahead to form the armhole curve. In order for you to form the armhole curve, it's very simple. From here, from this point where the vertical and horizontal line are joining, which is angle 90, place your tape like this and make sure diagonally mark how many? 1 inch. Okay. Then next thing you need to do, from here to here, the armhole depth, armhole length, make sure you get the midpoint. We have 7.5. The midpoint is what? 3.75. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So from here, make sure you step in with 1 inch. Please, I want you to know that it can vary. For some persons, you can step in with half inch. Are you saying it? Okay. For some persons, it's 3/4. But for the sake of this particular tutorial, this particular thing I'm doing is not armhole for the back. This is for the front. I'm going to be showing us the back. In fact, it's better for you to draft the back first before the front. So let's draft the back. So now we have gotten the midpoint. All you have to do is to take your rule and connect. Okay, so let's connect, guys. Are you seeing it? Make sure that this point and this point, they are working together. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. Now, in order to mark out this particular one for the front, this thing I call it the armhole effect or the armhole dart. What does it do? It helps to reduce the puffing around the armhole area so as to make it flat and everything. So from here, are you seeing it? 1 inch. All you need to do is to connect it. We have this point, we have this point, and we have this point. So let's connect it, guys. So next thing we have to do now is just mark out the neck. Remember I said we have not gotten to the main point of what we actually need. So now we look out for the neck width. The neck width for this particular one is actually 3.5 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay, this is the neck width for this particular stuff. So this 3.5 inches, make sure you use your tape and mark out another 3.5 inches. Why are we doing this? To make sure we get a straight line. Okay, so now the neck depth, remember from here to here is the neck width. So the neck depth, what I'm going to be using here is how many? 4 inches. Make sure you also mark out how many? 4 inches. Now make sure you get your neck curve. Now you can actually use all these French curve, you can use freehand whatsoever to get your neck curve. So let's do that. Okay, so now look, are you seeing the neck curve? It's looking very nice. So how do you get it apart from using these curves? Remember exactly what we did here. We marked the diagonal line of how many? 1 inch. The same thing you're actually going to do here. Are you seeing that it's the same thing? Diagonal line of how many? 1 inch. Then connect it. The next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be forming the dart. Is the dart that forms the bustier? Is the dart that forms the corset? Do you understand? So let's form the dart. In order for us to form the dart, we need to first of all mark out what we call the bust span. Hope you guys know what is bust span.
Yes.
Bust span is the distance from the left nipple to the right nipple. Also distance from the right nipple to the left nipple. So we usually have a chart whereby we can get our bust chart from. Like now, if you check in my book, I have all these things in my book. The chart is there. Do you understand? All these charts, they are all there. So now for a bust of 35 like we have here, what should be the bust span? Please, you guys should tell me.
3.5.
3.5. That is 7. Is 7. That is the distance from this nipple to the other nipple is how many? 7. So the 7, when you divide it by 2, because this is actually folded into 2, is how many? 3.5. So let's mark out 3.5. Okay, when you mark it out, use your rule and then connect, please. Okay, now there's something else I forgot to do, and that thing is what we call the chest line. Remember what I usually tell us? Let me show you guys something. We have the chest line. The chest line is wherever your armhole length stops. That's where the chest line is. Do you guys understand? So let's mark it out. I'm going to be using a different marker color so as for us to know that this part is the chest line. Now look at it. This is the chest line. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. We have marked all the measurement points, but there is still one remaining. I call it the upper bust. Remember, this is the bust, this is the under bust. We have the upper bust. Now, how do you get the upper bust? Basically, how do you get the upper bust? Look at it, it's very simple. The distance from the bust line to the under bust is how many? 3 inches. So to get the upper bust, also taking like the distance from the bust all the way up should be how many? 3 inches. If your own from here to here is 4 inches, just also try to place here how many? 4 inches. Is it well understood? Okay. Now look at it. 3 inches. Okay. So now take your rule and then connect. Here is the upper bust. Remember, this particular one is the what? Chest line. Please don't confuse both of them. Okay. This is very, very important. Depending on where you want to start curving, it's going to go up to this side. In a situation where you don't want it to be up to this point, you want to show this part of your body more. Do you understand what I mean? In a situation where you want to do that, then you shouldn't use the 3 inches we have here up exactly. What you should do is from this chest length, you can stop on the chest length, or you can go up with extra 1 inch from the chest length. Is it well understood? Okay. Now next thing we are going to be doing is just the same way we work on our corset, is the same way we are going to be working on this one. Now I want you guys to remember something. Look at this. When we are working our corset, from here to here for this particular size is how many? Is it not 1 inch?
Yes.
From here to here, mark out how many? 1 inch. From here to here, mark out how many? 1 inch. Okay. This is the under bust. Okay. From here to here, mark out how many? 1 inch. Okay. From here to here, mark out how many? 1 inch. Now we have this middle point. What are we going to be doing? We are going to be connecting to form our curve. Just know that. Now we are done darting for our tube cup. Are you seeing it? For the corset cup. Now we have gotten it. It's looking very nice. Next thing we need to do is to extend our dart here. Now on a normal situation, what we are supposed to do in order to get a better fitting here is the moment as we have one here, we are supposed to take it down bar. Okay, but there's this method I've devised because we are going to be having another dart here. That means that I'm going to be sharing all the darts. Do you understand? Now remember what I said, because there is a dart we are going to be having here, there is another line of dart where, remember, is a Victorian corset. So because of these two reasons, I'm going to be sharing. It's no longer going to be 1 here. Do you understand? For this particular one, is actually going to be how many? It's going to be half and a half. Now look at what I mean. Remember what I'm saying. See, I want to show you something. On a normal day, we are supposed to have something like this. Now let me show you. We are supposed to have something like this. Now let me use red marker so as not to, confuse us. We are supposed to have some. Are you seeing it? We're also supposed to have 1 inch here. Is that well understood? Then before we can now connect it to wherever we want to connect. Okay. Now since here is supposed to be 1, because I want to give this side its own that, I want to give this side its own small share of that, I have to reduce this particular one. Is it well understood? So in order to reduce it, all we have to do is, instead of giving it 1, I will give half of it. So instead of giving it 1, what should I give here? Is half. What should I give here is what? Half. You can go ahead to connect it this way. Is it well understood? Now look at it. Connect it this way. Connect this particular one this way. Okay. So all you have to do is to now connect it. The way you connect it matters a lot. Okay. So now let me connect it. Look at it here. I'm connecting from here to here. Are you seeing it? Now let me turn it and connect also from here to here. So let's do that, guys. I want us to go ahead and impute the body measurement before we start marking out the other darts. Do you understand? Let's impute the body measurement. Now when it comes to bust, some persons can, when it comes to imputing the body measurement, sometimes I used to teach us you can input it from here. Do you understand? But some persons can still go ahead, even on the chest length, you can also impute your bust measurement. So in this case, bust measurement is 35. 35 divided by 4 is how many? 8 3/4. Are you seeing it? You can go ahead to give extra allowance, that if you choose. Even if you did not give extra allowance, what it means is that when you are drafting it, when you are cutting on your material, you take your extra allowance for the body allowance. So but let me go ahead and choose how many? 2 inches allowance. Is it well understood? Okay. From the waist circumference is how many? 28. But 28 divided by 4 is how many? 7 inches. Okay. So how many am I going to replace for the dart?
1. 2.
I'm going to be placing 2. Now remember, we still have other darts we have not worked on. Remember, original dart is always your original. See, whatever that is coming here is what will run all through this waist. Do you understand? That's why I use the red marker to mark it here. Are you seeing? Even though what we have here, yes, you guys are correct. What we have here is how many? 1. But remember, it's because of other parts I'm going to be putting the remaining 1. That's why I use 1 here. Is it well understood?
Yeah.
So here we have to mark how many? 2. Here we mark how many? 2 inches. Is it well understood?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go over to this particular side. How many inches? Look at it. The hip, blouse hip is how many? 36 inches. 36 divided by 4 is how many? 9 inches. Is it well understood? So 9 inches plus 2, 11 inches.
So after connecting, add 1 inch to the chest line. This serves as the bust is.
Okay. So next thing we are going to be doing right now, look at it. Remember, we are not done with this place, but next thing we are going to be doing right now, let's get the curve by the side. You guys understand? Let's get the curve by the side. Obviously the curve I usually use 1 inch, and because I just added this, I'm just going to be using original. Do you understand? So from here go up is what? 1. So I'm going to be using from here. So what we are going to be doing from this point, just connect it all the way almost to the middle part, or to this bust span part. Okay, now look at it. Is it well understood?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to be putting that here, and we're going to be putting that here at the middle part of this side and at the middle part of this side. So now what we have to do now is, from here you can see, go to the underbust, whatever that is remaining, 2.5 divided by 2, how many? Just to get the midpoint. 1/4. Okay, look at it. Are you seeing? Since it's 1/4, we have to take 1/4 all through. Do you guys understand?
Yes, sir.
We have to take 1/4 all through. Are you seeing it? Do the same thing on this particular place. Get to the underbust. Are you seeing the original part of the underbust? Not here. Here is for the allowance. Get to this point. What do you have? 4.5 divided by 2 is how many? 2 1/4. Okay, 2 1/4. Get it here. Also make sure you get 2 1/4 from here to this side. Are you seeing it? 2 1/4. Make sure you get 2 1/4. Is that clear? Okay. So now let's connect, guys. So now next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be adding the darts. Now how do you add the darts? Look at it. It's very simple. Remember, how many inches that do you say we are going to be adding? quarter inch on both sides. Now look at it. Are you seeing it? Quarter inch on both sides. Let's connect, guys. When you are connecting it, please be very careful, because this thing now, you are not actually darting for the bust, you are not snatching the bust. So be very careful on how you dart. Now let me show you something. If I place it like this and the dart, any space that I have on the bust is wrong. So you must do it in a way that the bust will never be what? Affected. Do you guys understand? Now let me show you guys what I mean. Let's like see the bust point now. Do you see me? So whatever I'm drafting should never reach at the bust. Is it well understood? Okay, let's do that again. After this side, let's do the same thing on this particular side. So let's go. Remember what I said. Here is how many? Quarter and a quarter. Okay, quarter and a quarter. Let's do this. Remember, nothing should affect your bust in any way. We have finished that thing. Next thing we are going to do, let's form our neck line. Is that well understood? Let's form. In order to form our neckline, it's very simple, my dear. What do you do? Remember, I said when you can actually measure the person's neck depth. I mean the yoke neck depth. Do you understand? Yes. Now for this particular person, we want it to look nice and sexy. We can go ahead to use 9 inches. Is it well understood? Okay, 9 inches. Now, in a situation whereby you don't know what to use for the customer, use the chest length, or you can go ahead to also use the what? The bust length. Remember, if you use the bust length, it's going to be deeper. Hope you guys understand. It's going to be more deep. Do you understand? Okay. If you want it to be very, very moderate, go ahead to use the chest length. But if you want to get exact what the customer wants, always, whenever you are measuring, always take it out from the neck. Ask the customer. They can be able to use their hand and point where they want. Direct it towards your tape. Do you understand? You'll get it. Next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be connecting it. You can either use your free hand. Are you seeing what I'm doing? Connect from here. Remember, this one also go from here down. Now look all the way to the armhole length. Do you understand? All the way to the armhole length. Now let me teach you something. See where I entered now. Now some people will tell you that because we are making a tube, you can go ahead to go down this way. Are you seeing it? From here to here is how many? Half inch. It is not bad if you want to do that. Remember, because a tube, you will not want to risk after you finish making the dress, at the end of the day, it's choking your armpit. Do you understand? You really want it to be below the armpit. It's not bad. When you bring your hand down, it's going to relax well. Is that well understood? Okay. But in case you still want to go ahead and from here connect it all the way to this point, it's still very much okay, provided you know that your armhole length is okay. Do you guys understand? Okay. You guys know about side dart. Yes, you have the bust dart. We are going to be applying bust dart in this case. Do you understand? Now, what are we going to be using that bust dart to do? It's just like a magic. You guys, have you noticed that your front waist and your back waist length is not the same? Have you guys noticed that? When you measure from shoulder down to the waist of your front and from your shoulder back down to the waist at the back, have you noticed that is not the same? Which one is usually longer? The front is longer because of the breast. Now I want to tell you something. It's not compulsory what I'm about to say, but this is the range. The front is usually like 2 inches, 1.5 inches. Do you understand? Depending, longer than the back. So that is why sometimes when we are making clothes and we're making half length, sometimes it's good to measure both of them, so that when you are sewing, you mark your back what you are supposed to use. Do you understand? Then mark your front what you are supposed to use. Now it is bust that we magically use to make sure that the sides are equal. Whatever bust that we put now, if we put 2 inches that now, when we are drafting the back is going to be shortened. If the length of our blouse here now is 22, the back is going to be how many? 20. Is it well understood? 20. Because at the end of the day, this bust that is going to reduce this our blouse now, the side length, to be what? 20. Is it well understood? Now let's do the side dart. Just from the bust length, do you understand? You can go ahead to mark how many? 2 inches. Okay. Now look at it from here over to here. Do you understand? Remember, I gave my 2 inches allowance. Most people that do pattern drafting don't give this thing. They only use this particular one. Do you understand? So if you are used, like what I'm saying now, when you see most people that do pattern drafting online, they don't add their body allowance. Do you understand? But I'm adding this body allowance. Either way, now look at it. Either way, look at it, guys. Look at it. I'm connecting it. Are you seeing it? Okay. So now we have done that. The next thing we are going to be doing now is that we are going to be cutting it out. So let's cut it out, guys. Please be very careful when you are cutting it out. I know some of us, I want you to make sure you focus, concentrate, because some of us think that we know how to cut, but the truth is that cutting is one of the hardest process. Okay, guys, so look at this now. Next thing we need to do, we can label it. You can just name it 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or you can go ahead and just say this one is center front 1. Do you understand? Say this one is what? Center front 2. This one is what? Side front 1. And this one is what? Side front 2. Do you understand? Whichever you want to use and label it, you can actually do that. Okay? So let's work on the back. Do you guys understand? Let's work on the back. Okay, guys, there's something I actually forgot to do. Please, I don't want us to make this mistake. Before we cut out this place, I would like us to cut out this our bust dart. So now look at it, guys. Make sure you get it at the tip. Are you seeing it? So go ahead to do something like this. Is it clear? Are you seeing it? You go ahead to Are you seeing what we have here now? Okay. Now see what we have here now. Are you seeing it? That is cool. So this is what we are going to be using to cut our material. Then when you cut your material, there's no way you're not going to be seeing this dart again. Is it well understood? Okay. And now that we have folded it, means that it has now shortened with 2 inches here. Is it well understood? Okay. So let's work on the back. So working on the back, let's start. These are the measurement points. But remember what I told us. Whatever we have here, we need to reduce it with how many? 2 inches. So let's reduce it with 2 inches. I'm going to be using a red marker so as for all of us to see. Now I'm going to be reducing it with 2 inches. Look at it. 2 inches. 2 inches. I've already told us the reason why I'm doing so. Because of the back waist length and everything is not the same as the front. Okay, so now let's do something else. Please, whatever we did in front, let's repeat it at the back. Is it well understood? Now let me show you guys something. Where is the yoke? Use your yoke and place like this. Now look at it. Remember, everything is still in line, all our measurements. Now this thing I'm doing is the same thing as, please, I want you to know, this thing I'm doing is the same thing as using your hand to redraft it. Is it well understood? Okay, there's no big deal there. So what we are supposed to do now is look at it. It will be simple for us to draft now. Look at it, very, very simple. What are we supposed to do? Remember, we have 3.5 here. Do you understand? As our bust span. Do you understand? Remember, we are done marking out all the points. Are you guys seeing it? We have extended the line also. The place that we actually need to put that is only at the side at the back. Do you know why? Because here we are going to be stepping in for the eyelet, for the lacing. So we don't need any dart here. Do you understand? So it's only here. So if we are supposed to put 1 here and it's only here we need that, what we are supposed to do now is you can go ahead to put 3/4, 3/4. Do you understand? So that whatever that is remaining, we put it on the other side. Okay, 3/4, 3/4. Okay, now look at it. 3/4, 3/4. Where are we supposed to extend this dart to? We are supposed to extend it to the armhole. So now look at it, guys. Another thing I want us to do is also put a dart here, like here, because of back effect. Do you guys understand? Back effect. Even though we are still going to minus the 2 inches allowance or 1.5 depending. Now look at what I'm trying to say. Here you are seeing. Are you seeing it? Go in with how many? Half inch. Okay. Now connect it all the way to this side. The same thing at the down, please. Now if you notice, I'm not putting zip here. In a situation whereby you really want to put a zip, please make sure from here you add how many? 2 inches allowance. But I'm not putting it. I'm not considering it. I'm doing lacing. Do you understand? Okay. Now let's do something else. Let's extend the body measurement. The underbust is going to be how many? 7.5. Okay. How many inches allowance do we have there? How many inches allowance do we have here? 1.5. So let's add it back. Then body allowance is how many? 2 inches. Okay. So now at the waist is how many? 28. That is divided by is how many? 7. Okay. How many inches allowance? 2 inches bar. Okay. God bless you. Then here is how many? 2. Okay. So from here 9. Okay. Let's just use 9. Then from here is how many? 2. Is okay. It's okay. So let's connect. Are you guys seeing it? Okay. What I want you guys to do now is remember how many are we slanting? 1. Let's get to the dart here. Do you understand? So let's do that. So what do we have here? 4.5. Do you understand? Then divided by 2 is what? 2 1 quarter. 2 1 quarter. Is that correct?
Yes.
2 1 quarter. Now let's give the dating that we want. From here to here is how many? Quarter inch. And here is how many? Quarter inch. Okay. Like I told you guys, make sure it doesn't affect any place apart from the majorly the waist. Do you understand? Majorly the waist. So by me looking at it, you can see that we are almost done. Now, what are we going to be doing at this back now? We don't leave it straight. What do? We step down with how many? 1. We step down with how many? 1. So let's do that, guys. So now connect from here all over to this place. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now you see as we've connected, you see that here is shutting. Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's like that. Leave it. This is where you're supposed to land. So whatever you see here is very much okay. So now, by me looking at it, you can see that we are done with the back. Now let me use this scissors and cut it out. Look at it. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now let me show you guys something. The reason why I did not put any dart at the middle here, is just because if I put that at the middle here, and I'm still going to remember I'm doing lessons, I'm still going to subtract. So there's no need. Do you understand? In fact, as it is now, I'm supposed to remove 2. Look at it. I'm supposed to remove 2. If I remove 2, what are you seeing? You are seeing that is affecting my dart. But I can go ahead to totally. Sometimes I can go ahead to totally not put a dart here. See it here. See it here. The only part of the dart that I will use is here. Are you seeing it? I can go ahead to do that. Or if I must leave this dart, here, what I will do next is I will not use, look at it, I will not use 2 inches. I will use how many? 1.5. Is it well understood? So now some things can change because of how the work is coming out. Know that. What profile is also going to serve well. Is it not 3 inches? It's cool. It's cool. And remember, it's not just 3 inches. Remember, we have already removed half here. So take it very well. It's still 2 at the end of the day. Is it well understood? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, let's continue. I can continue with my 1.5. I can also continue with 2 inches, whichever one I want. So let me continue with 1.5 so as to get that shape. Do you know the shape I'm talking about? So that when you tie your lacing at the back, you see that shape like this. That shape at the center. Do you understand? That's what I mean. Those that want to put zip, no need of removing it. Rather, you need to add extra 2 inches while cutting out on your fabric. You know that. Yes, my dear. So let's cut out, guys.
Welcome to the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide, a masterclass from Ceefashion Academy in dressmaking with detailed instructions and expert advice. Embark on this journey to create your own piece. Unearth the enigmatic secrets of flawless dress cutting techniques. Imbue charm with your personal touch and unique creations, captivating undivided attention. Get bonus content from renowned fashion designers inside this guide. Your craft to rival professional designs. Access the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide anytime, anywhere. Discover a world of fashion at your fingertips. Just a click away, your dreams await. Get an early bird discount on the Perfect Dress Cutting Guide. Embrace creativity, elegance, step into a world of creativity and elegance. Unleash your sewing prowess, harness your creativity, ignite your imagination, design, stitch and craft. Make something extraordinary. WhatsApp us now for yours, +2 347 030 445 028. God bless you all.